to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, hi, my name is Maria, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. So she arrived in the post this morning. I got this palette released because it came out on the 15th here on Monday in New Zealand, or in Sephora, New Zealand. So I placed the order, but the orders actually come from Australia. So from Monday to Friday, that was a fairly quick delivery. So I'm pretty happy with that. I also got the palette because I love Natasha Denona palettes. I have quite a few of them now. And even though this one is fairly bold with its colours, I still was excited to purchase it because I think it could add some impact with some other shadows as well from different palettes. So let's take a look inside. I haven't swatched this palette yet. I'll just open the box up, and this is the palette. It is, I think it's a really pretty palette, and I think it's really bold and colourful. I know there's quite a few out there that don't like it at all, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Did have the plastic wrap on top of the shadows. I'll just remove that and then hold up these shadows. I mean, they're just absolutely beautiful. I really love these orange and the blues. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous, and there's some greens here as well. Probably those are the colours that I'm more drawn to. So let's do some swatches. I'll probably run out of room on my arm, so we'll do it row by row. So we'll start with the top row first. So here is the first row, and the first one is Firework. Then we have, this one here, Razzle Dazzle. And then there is Acrobat, and this colour here is Snow Cone, and this one you can't quite see, and I've turned down my light, but it's very pale, and that's Cotton Candy. It's a very soft pink colour. So the next row we have Electric, then we have Grin, then the next one is Cannon, then we have the colour Flip, and then the last one on the middle row is called Fun to Mine. And then the final row we have Spiral, then Magic, Aerialist, Act, and the very last one is Joker. So when I swatched these colours on my arm, I only had to do one swipe in the pan and then the swatch on my arm, and they just felt really, really creamy and buttery, absolutely beautiful. And this is how pigmented they are. I was using a makeup wipe in between to take the colour off my fingers, and you can still see that it is stain on there. It's almost stained. So I want to do 2 or 3 looks. I haven't made up my mind yet for this video. So hopefully I'll be able to get the eyeshadow off before I do my next look. So let's start with the palette. I was thinking that probably, I think I'll start off with a purple look down below here. So I think I'll use these 3 colours here and start with that. So because they're fairly pigmented, I'm going to take it fairly easy. I'll use quite a fluffy brush. I'm going to take the Sonia G Blender Pro brush and start off with the colour Magic down here. I'm just going to go fairly easy. There's a little bit of kick up when you put the brush in, but it is very heavily pigmented on the brush. I'm not going to tap off. I'll just see how it goes. Lays down a lot of pigment to begin with. That is blending out really nicely, just like the other Natasha Denona palettes I have. Her formulas are really, really beautiful. So I'm going to take a little while blending this, because I want to blend this colour up as far as I can, up my brow bone. And hopefully it'll just soften the colour out a bit. I know there'll be a lot of really bold colours with the different creators trying that. I'm trying to make them go as soft as I can and hopefully give more sort of wearable looks with this palette. So the colour Magic that I just used, super pigmented. I didn't have to go back into the palette again, and it's actually blended out really, really beautifully. So now I'm going to take my Rephr number 15 brush and I'm going to go into the colour here. This is the colour Act, and just put that on the outer corner of my eye. Then I'm going to take my Estee Lauder flat brush and go into the colour Aerialist here and put that on the rest of my lid. I'll try it with this brush first, and then if I want a bit more impact I will go over again with my finger. So the flat brush was enough to lay down that colour, the colour Aerialist that I just used in here. They're just so pigmented and just go on really, really beautifully. So now I'm going to take my Rephr number 3 brush and go back into the colour Magic again, this one here, and go under my eyes with that. Then I'm going to take my MAC 316 brush and go back into the colour Aerialist here and just put that on the inner corner of my eye, just to give a bit more brightness there. And for this look, I'm just going to leave it like that. I think that this shows that with this palette, you don't have to do crazy different combinations if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable with that. You can certainly pick up a colour like this Magic here, one dip in with your brush, and then it lays a lot of pigment, and then just slowly blend it out and it softens the colour. Normally you would have to possibly use a lighter colour up here, but with the blending it just blends out to a beautiful light gradient colour out here without using anything else. And this colour Aerialist in here is enough to give it a pop. I think this looks really gorgeous. I was a bit worried when I ordered this palette. I wasn't quite sure what I would do with it, but this looks like I'll be able to do this with most of the colours in here. So with this look, I'm not going to put on any eyeliner or mascara because I want to do a second look for this video. So what I'm going to do is remove what I have on my eyes, and then I'll be back to do the second look. So I've taken my eye makeup off with a makeup wipe that I have there. I never remove my makeup with a makeup wipe. I just have these in my room here to remove swatch marks from my arm and hand, and my poor eyes, it took a bit to get it off. This is my makeup wipe that's including from my swatches on my arm as well. So it is very pigmented makeup, but it did come off, and I've put eye primer on again and let that sit for a few minutes. So we'll start with the next look. And I've given my Sonia G Blender Pro brush a wipe on the cloth in front of me. Hopefully that's taken off enough of that other pigment that I used. And I'm going to go into the shade here, Joker, and do the same as I did with the other look. So it'll be fairly pigmented, but I'm hoping this will blend out just as beautifully as the other one. And it does just one tab, and you put the eyeshadow on and it looks really pigmented, and it is, and then you can just blend it out into a really soft colour up towards the brow bone. Just beautiful formula. So next I'm going to take my Rephr number 15 brush, and I'm going to go into the shade here, Razzle Dazzle, and put that on the outer corner of my eye. Raspberry colour. It's really, really gorgeous. Then I'm going to take my Rephr number 3 brush and go back into the first colour I used, which is Joker, and put that under my eye. I might use a deeper shade on top. I'll just see how this looks first. Then I'm going to take my flat brush again, and I'm going to go into the shade here, Grin, and put that on the rest of my eyelid. Just like with the other colour, I would imagine that the flat brush is going to be enough and I won't have to use my finger. This is a really pretty green. Then I'm going to take my MAC brush and do the inner corners of my eye again, and I'm going to use the same colour I did with the first look, and that is the colour Aerialist. And then I think I'm just going to deepen the colour a little bit just on the first third here under my eye using the Rephr number 3 brush again. I'm going to use the colour that I did in the first look, and that is the colour Magic. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on. Just going to wipe my brush first to make sure the colour that I used, Joker, is gone first. So I'll just dip it back into Magic. So that is the second look done. I am going to do a third look. So again, I'm not going to put eyeliner or mascara on, but these colours are just absolutely pretty. These are very bright, and this is definitely more of an out there sort of colour combination. Well, for me anyway, with the pink and the green, they look absolutely beautiful. I don't know whether it's an everyday look for me, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I know that I keep saying it, but these just blend out beautifully. The gradient that it gives just from one colour is absolutely stunning. So I'm going to take this makeup off again for the last time, my eye makeup, and then I'll be back to do the final and third look. I'm actually back to show you. I'm in the process of taking this second look off, and the pigment that is left, I am struggling to get this off. I'm using a makeup wipe and it's actually starting to hurt a bit, but just so pigmented. I mean, I will still be able to get it off, but it takes a bit. When you normally put these shadows on and it gets to the evening and taking your makeup off, it's definitely a double cleanse sort of situation going on here. Right, I got as much of that eye makeup off that I could. My eyes still look a bit pink, and I don't ever treat my eyes roughly when I take off makeup, and I wasn't doing it this time either, but they're actually feeling slightly a bit raw, really. But the pink isn't from that, it's from that slight pigment still from the shadow. So be warned, when you go to take it off at the end of the night, it's going to take a little bit of work. So let's get into the third and final look. And for this look, I'm going to use the oranges and the blue one here, and possibly go into snow cone color here. I think this is going to look really, really gorgeous. It'll be really bold, but I'm dying to use this blue here. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So I've wiped down my brushes, and I'm going to go back in just like I did with the other ones first, because these are so pigmented. You can use quite a fluffy brush to get your look. And this is the Sonia G Blender Pro. And I'm first going to go in with the color here, and that is the color Firework. And this colour, just like the other ones that I first used for the very first shade, again, lots of pigment, and then it just starting to blend out really beautifully. Then I'm going to take my Rephr number 3 brush and go under my lower lash line using the same colour Firework. And using my Rephr number 15 brush, I'm going to go into this lower colour here, which is called Spiral. And I'm just going to use that part through the crease here. Then I'm going to take the other Rephr number 15 brush I have 2 of them because I use them so much, and I'm going to go into the colour Electric here and put that on the outer corner of my eye. That is a stunning colour, it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 204 brush and go back into the same colour Electric and just put a little bit on my lower lash line. And then using my Estee Lauder brush, I'm going to go into the colour here, which is Snow Cone. I'll just lift this up a bit so you can see this colour here. This looks absolutely gorgeous, and just like the other colours, I'm sure it's going to go on beautifully, and I won't need to use my finger. So that's the third look done, and this time I will off camera put on some eyeliner on my upper lash line and some mascara. This is not an everyday look, this one for me, but the colours are stunning. And if I ever need, when I'm using another palette for a pop of a certain colour, a blue, and by the looks of it the green is just as gorgeous, or the Snow Cone colour here, then I will be heading towards this palette to use these. These colours are so pigmented and blend out beautifully. They're just absolutely stunning. So I'm going to do the eyeliner and mascara and the rest of my makeup, and I'll be back. So this is the final look with my mascara and blush and lipstick on. I was deciding whether to go for a bold lipstick or a lighter lipstick. I decided to go with the bold, why not, with the bold eyes. So my final thoughts, do I love this palette? Absolutely, I love this palette. The 3 looks that I gave today aren't necessarily ones that would be a go-to if I was just popping into town, but I love them. I think that I would use these looks going out in the evening. And like I said, with this palette, I think that the colours are just stunning. And it'll definitely also be a go-to palette if you're using some other palette and you just decide you need some extra pop of colour, then you can definitely head towards this new Natasha Denona palette and you'll be able to find it. The formula, as I said quite a few times during the video when I was doing my different eye looks, the formula is sublime. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not surprised the other Natasha Denona palettes I've got are beautiful as well, but they just blend like a dream. And with mature eyes, blending is a bit more difficult because you've got the looser skin, and it does help having good quality brushes. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But this formula, to be able to do one dip with your brush into the colour and then start on your eye and then build this really beautiful gradient, just speaks volume about the quality of the palette that you are using. So I don't regret buying it. I'm absolutely so pleased that I got this, and I will definitely be using it again. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.